everybody, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Rod Shop podcast. Yes, we're back, and you can see we've changed our venue a little bit. We've got some nice, cool equipment going on, thanks to all our sponsors, and we are ready to get the next season going. Now, yeah, can you believe I've done over like 60 of these things? All right, so let's kick off first, and just a reminder, go click that like or subscribe depending on where you watch it. Follow the show and also get notifications of when we're actually loading new episodes, because there is a whole bunch of episodes coming up that you guys do not want to miss. Okay, now, first off, let's get to our sponsors. And this episode is brought to you by Tyre Life Solutions. Now, you will see on our social media pages, we're busy loading some videos that we did with Tyre Life. Now, you can go to tyrelife.co.za and you can actually go buy tires online, okay? And it's great brands. It's Mickey Thompson, it's Cooper Tires, it is MOMO Performance Tires, and it's some really, really cool stuff. And it's quick and easy. Now you can buy it online, and then you can go select like where you want to actually have the tires installed, and you just drive there and they put them on. There's a video on the line, online right now. You can go watch how we did that. It's actually pretty cool. All right, so go check out tyrelife.co.za and see what if you need some tires. Now on to today's show. Now we all know the MOMO brand. Okay, anyone who's done anything with racing will know MOMO, from MOMO steering wheels, seats, helmets, gloves, you name it. Now they have started a tire brand which is called MOMO Tires, and we are actually talking to the guy who made this happen. Yes, he's talking to us from Italy, and he's explaining to us how it came that MOMO now starts doing tires and how it got to South Africa. And the guys from Tyre Life Solutions pushing that through. All right, now we've got some great episodes coming up. There's some cool people that we've spoken to in the past that I'm still going to bring out. And there's a bunch of new people. So we've got Gumtree coming back on the show to talk about the right to repair. And we've also got some drag races from the US. And you would have, if you've watched Street Outlaws Cash Days, you would have seen her actually on the show, and we're talking to her and her dad, and it's going to be a big one. Obviously, we're talking about Lizzie Musi and her dad, Pat Musi. That's going to be a great show. So, guys, keep posted to the channel or YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get this, because trust me, there's a lot going. Now, subscribe. Remember, click just like the buttons, like somewhere down there. Just go click it. All right. So great to have you on the show. I'm really excited about this one. I've been a very long supporter of the MOMO brand.
Really? Good to hear that.
It's if you just before we get started, do you want to just introduce yourself quickly?
Well, I'm Neri Peccia. I'm one of the who started the tire business, so brought the brand MOMO into the tire business. Yes. So my father and I, we had this idea back in 2009 or something like that. And then we get in touch with MOMO Italy, and from there, together with the guys from MOMO Italy, we developed the MOMO Tires.
But that's it. How can I put it? MOMO has been like a racing brand that everyone knows. Anyone that's known racing either has owned a MOMO steering wheel or MOMO seat or anything like that.
If you're in Europe, a MOMO helmet for the motorbikes.
Exactly. I mean,
it's how it is in South Africa. In Europe, helmets are going for very big.
Exactly. But more specific, I mean, it's been a brand that's been recognized on Formula One, and it's been everywhere. Any form of racing, there's always been some form of MOMO. So it's a brand with such a heritage and stuff behind it. So you started the tire section. Now, what was obviously you guys have a niche in order to get into, because I mean, that is a massively competitive market. So what got the conversation going from your side, from a tire perspective?
Well, we're like, my family owns a distribution company in Italy since like third generation, so 3 generation now. And back in 2009, we were big enough to, and we had the knowledge of the factories, a lot of factories in Asia, Korea, China, Indonesia, and that area. And we heard about, especially in US and like some other countries in Europe, there were distributors who were doing like their own brands. In Italy, nobody was doing that. We had a chance because we knew the processes. We knew we had sales in Italy at least for let's say start this kind of project. But doing that with like most of the others were doing, starting a new brand from scratch, it would have been way too hard, and it would be like giving us no chance to sit on the table with our partners around the world. It would be like a small project for Italy, and that's it.
Yeah.
So my father and I, we thought about like the fact that basically in Italy there is a lot of brands in every sector. Like if you're going to food, fashion, like Italians are very good in doing branding.
Yes.
Honestly, and in the automotive business, MOMO, I think, are the best for that, because basically they were number one in steering wheels until basically the steering wheels business in Italy at least, or in Europe, almost disappeared because of the airbags.
Yeah.
You know, but say that the brand was still very strong, and everybody like 40 and above knew the brand, and the new one, like the new generation, were used to know MOMO because of the helmet, at least from our perspective, like the European perspective. Yeah. So say that we had the idea, we had the knowledge, and we had the brand basically in mind. So we get in touch with Massimo Ciocca and Matteo Gianotti, which are basically the CEO and head marketing of MOMO. And believe me or not, they were looking something similar. They were approaching other manufacturers to doing something like that. So let's say it was 1 + 1 = 2, and that was basically in the same period. So it was perfect.
So
it was quite fast. We didn't have to talk about explaining our idea much, because we said, hey guys, you know what? You have a great brand. We have the knowledge. Why we don't put sit together and create a project? We say, this is the project we were thinking of. What do you can bring more on this? Okay, great. The PowerPoint was ready already, basically. You know, so it's very good. From there, we start the whole project, like research, mold companies, the whole engineering. There was a lot of study. So from 2009, we started production in 2012.
Oh,
so
wow.
3 years off.
So it's extremely, it's extremely in its early phases. I mean, from that, in order to get the product all across the world, I mean, that's very quickly.
Right. Basically, the first challenge we had is to get to know as much as possible the whole processes, then the regulations, because yes. I mean, as a distributor, we were importing tires. We knew that there was the E-mark for Europe. That's it. But how to get an E-mark was like a learning process. We had to learn how to do that. How to get in touch with the engineers, doing the test, simulation and computer test, doing the real test. That was all new for us. Like a lot of traveling in Finland, Spain, back in China, Korea. So it was a lot of traveling, a lot of learning.
But I mean, once you get that process going, I mean, look, obviously it's the knowledge is king. That means that the process after that becomes much easier once you guys start pushing out in new brand or new products and that type of stuff. It makes it the system just becomes much smoother.
Now it takes us about 1.5 years to mostly 2 years to launch a new product. Back then it was 3 years.
Yeah.
I say. It depends where you want to sell it. I mean, Europe has a lot of regulation that you have to go through, and it's very, let's say, time-consuming, bureaucratic. Other markets are more flexible. So you have the product, it has been tested, it's okay, you can move on. Yeah.
And now you guys are launching MOMO Tires in South Africa. Was that a big process to try? I mean, because you guys are working with the guys from Tyre Life.
Right.
And obviously they've got an enormous amount of history or experience in South Africa with working with tires and brands and stuff like yourself.
Right. No, it was, we're trying to approach South Africa, I think already 2-3 years now. We never find a real partner. And well, South Africa went through also like currency exchange that was fluctuating up and down. And we were about to start, and then we said, okay, no, doesn't make sense right now. And then again, and then, I mean, the whole world went through like the last 2-3 years, quite a movement years, let's say.
Movement is such a good diplomatic way of saying movement. I've got much stronger words than movement of what's been happening. But now you guys, I mean, funny enough, so I actually own a set of MOMO tires already. However, they are on my wife's horse box. Because you were guys with only, I think it was only 13 inches we could guide. There was good quality at the same time, which we thought is because it was quite funny that you got this we now have a performance horse box, if you want to put it that way. You know, now I just need the car in front to keep up with it. But now, when it comes to your tires, what segment of the market are you guys focusing on?
Look. MOMO is basically a, how do you say that? Like, it's a product usually tied to high quality, big cars, like
performance.
Performance, right? That's the word I was looking for. However, to approach the whole market, we had to go through the 13-inch, starting from 13-inch up to the 21-inch now. That's for two reasons. One is because, as you say, yeah, like you put the tires on your wife's car, maybe then you put it on your BMW, Mercedes, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's marketing, basically. Like every single tire that goes around is a marketing object. And on the other hand, we had to get to the volumes that makes us interesting for the factories as well. So there is a bilateral, dual need in this choice.
Yeah.
Like maintaining the MOMO performance identity, going to the broad market, so mainstream as possible, and on the other hand, making factories happy,
because I'm
more
competitive. But because I mean, tires to me has always been a very interesting market because your prices fluctuate so much based on what is a popular size compared to what's not a popular size. I mean, if you look at your margins, where you've got a certain tire that is retail on a car, and which is great because you've got 5 or 6 brands and they're all on that size, like an SUV, they're all using the same size tire. which means that the tire price becomes less because there's more manufacturing of it goes. And obviously, in the old rule, the more they manufacture, the cheaper it gets. But you can get a slight fluctuation in that from a 255 to a 265, and your pricing can completely different. Because
you have to consider two points. One is, as I said, it takes about 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years to develop a new product. And so it's a lot, like it's very costly, timing and monetary. So once you have the tire, the more you produce, basically, the less. Once you put the mold on the machine, the more you produce, the less is your cost. The less you produce, the higher it is are the costs. So that's one of the reasons of this strong fluctuation.
So what was your process when you guys came to going, okay, well, all right, we're getting started. We need to do our first run of tires. How do you guys decide what was actually the sizes to start off with?
First of all, we need how we decide the range we want to produce.
Yeah.
That's right.
Your range, and then based on sizes.
First of all, we decide the segment we want to enter or we want to replace. So we want to go on the SUV size. Perfect. Okay. Which market we want to approach? This, and that.
Yeah.
What is more suitable for that markets? This, and that. And then we'll start studying the sizes. We'll start studying the products and what it works, what it doesn't work. And from there we go. Or what size has a broader market cover. So like 65-17 is one of the number one SUV or all-terrain tires in South America, as well as probably in South Africa, in Australia, and in some parts of US. So it's almost invisible or in existence in Europe. But I know that part of the world, I can sell these kind of sizes. So once I produce the size 235, 75, 15, which is big in Europe, so they have the same pattern. I use both, I try to use both, something that makes European happy and other part of the world. MOMO needs to be as interested as possible to our partners, basically. So we need the key sizes as well as the niche sizes.
Exactly, because the niche sizes normally comes with the niche cars. Basically, it's what we always found. That's your special editions and stuff that came up with different wheel sizes and that type of stuff. That doesn't have mainstream tires and stuff. But now, does this mean
that's the way also you get more interesting for your retail, like our distributor? It gets more interesting for its customer because MOMO solve him a lot of problem. It's not just the tire for the BMW and Mercedes, but it goes for the Suzuki up to the Toyota Hilux or whatever it is.
Exactly. But does this mean that MOMO are you guys looking into racing tires and stuff as well? Seeing that performance side?
We thought about that quite a few times. We never had luckily we're growing, so we have a lot of we spend a lot of time entering new markets and doing a lot of stuff in new market that we don't have enough time to concentrate on the racing performance tires. And it's a very closed market. Like there is Michelin, Conti, Pirelli, they're the big guys. And for as big as MOMO brand is, the company behind it is still like we're a drop in the ocean,
Compared to these multinational $billion guys, that throws money behind everything.
Right. Consider we're now in over 65, 70 countries.
Already? So you guys are in 70 countries already. And this
Tires, yeah.
That's brilliant.
And it's basically done, like the sales force today is made by 4 guys and myself. So four person dedicated to sales and myself. So, and that's not because we're so good. It's big part of the game is 4 letters, MOMO.
Yeah.
Because that has a lot of chance to say, hey, good, nice product. As we dreamt back then to bring this product brand and make it big into the tire market, there is a lot of other person or distributors that see the same vision, have the same vision as we have. There is a huge potential on this brand to be brought into at a very good level. Like considering in some Latin American country, they consider us at the premium level, like Goodyear, Pirelli, as brand.
That's brilliant.
I say, okay, it's new in the tire business, but the brand is strong.
Yeah. No, but I mean, look, when I first saw MOMO Tires, my first reaction was, I thought it was something that Momo's always, because I mean, obviously, sometimes in South Africa, we feel a little bit sheltered and then we don't know what's actually out there. So when I saw the MOMO Tires, I went, wow, I never knew that they had the tires section. And then the more you get into it, like I said, it creates that excitement because this heritage performance brand now has tires. As I can put Momos on my car.
That phase is the one we saw the first 3-4 years during the show, the tire exhibition shows, like MOMO Tires.
Yes.
MOMO has tires. That's the phase I saw the most, honestly, in the first 2-3 years.
But it shows, look, a brand that's got a heritage going into any segment. And I mean, I had a conversation with someone the other day regarding something similar to this. And they said to me, listen, so why don't you just create a new product and put it out in the market? Why are you talking to a brand to try and work together with them? And I did the same thing as you guys, to start something off from scratch. How can I put? Great example is Kia Motors. When Kia immediately started, everybody, especially in South Africa, went, "Oh, what crap is this? You know, oh, it's another cheap import and this type coming in." And it took them a few years to establish their name, where people went, "Okay, these guys are serious. This is, you know." But if you think of that timeline that goes into it, where if they had Ford or Toyota or someone behind them, or a brand that was immediately recognized with good quality and stuff, it would have been we're buying it immediately, you know?
Right.
So yeah. So what's next now for MOMO Tires?
Well, one of the most challenging part of the whole business is keep up with getting new products every 2-3 years, especially in the UHP, so ultra high performance segment, because like 13 to 15 inch, 16 inch, the product lasts about 4 or 5 years. But to keep up as much as possible with the big guys, we have to renew, especially the ultra high performance segment, every 2 years, 3 years. So once we finish, we launch one, we start thinking on the new one. Yeah. So now we launched the new production M300 made in Vietnam. That was launched back in November last year for most of the part of the world, not for Europe yet, because of what I was saying before.
Yeah. Now
it's going through all the processes.
Are you guys doing the taking the step where you now want to start looking at certain car manufacturers and get them to start working with you directly when it comes to development and this type of stuff? Like I know some of the brands have done that, where a brand has gone and started working with BMW on the M3. So all the M3s come out with a certain spec tire and stuff, and that tire is actually made in a way for that car.
I mean, we could approach assembly company that do that, but we cannot approach yet the main manufacturer, and that's because we don't own our own factories. To be very flexible, in move the products, make changes, maintaining the quality as high as possible. We outsource the production, and that's basically what it gave us also the chance to say, well, okay, US put anti-dumping against China, boom, we moved the production to Vietnam because US, it's a big market for us.
Yeah. But that puts you guys in a very good.
Today we have 4 countries where we produce, so 4 different countries where we produce. And if we would own a factory, we would have 1 because we don't have even the volume to run the whole factory.
I've seen this with other brands that it's outsourcing actually makes more sense, because it means as long as the factory which you're going to has got the qualities and controls and stuff in place that you guys require, it makes a lot of sense, because 1, the costs of setting up a factory, and like you said, you're only limited to your production at that point of what that one factory can push out. Where if you're outsourcing, like you said, if you get to a point where that one factory can't handle the workload, you can add on another one immediately and keep a production going. It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and especially as we were saying before, the world is moving, changing a lot, and have a lot of different problems in different countries. So having 4 sources, it gave us the chance to always have production from one country or the other, you know.
And when you guys started with South Africa, was it hard to get the products and stuff cleared and everything in South Africa?
In this, I have to say, our partner helped us a lot in doing that, the whole processes. They knew the market, they knew all the processes and how to do it. We were following their instruction, and that was one of the reasons it worked quite good.
Awesome. So what message, if we want to wrap this up, what message would you like to get out there to the market and tell everyone out there?
Good question.
That's the one where I put you on the spot.
We're here to deliver the best product with the best possible and fashionable brand. We're here to grow. As I said before, we're a drop in the ocean now, but our projects are to establish more and more partnerships around the world and be part of the game with the big guys at a certain point. Definitely, we keep on investing in products and engineering, because that's the key, especially today with the whole sustainability and clean oil, and use new products, new raw materials. That's basically what we're trying, or we aim to do.
So yeah,
thank you.
But sir, it's been absolute pleasure talking to you. I know that you guys were worried that we were going to throw you with some big questions. I normally like
that was actually very nice.
Yeah,
it was good to talk to you.
Oh, awesome. But listen, all the best with MOMO and MOMO Tires.
Thank you.
And I love the brand. I love the brand. I love the product. Like I said, I've actually checked out the tires and stuff. Next, I think I need to get a pair on my car. And I think your brand, especially in the aftermarket segment, the tuner segment and this type of stuff, because that's the old school racers that know the brand. I think it's going to do phenomenally well, absolutely phenomenally well. So yeah,
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
No, we're working for that. We're working since now 9 years to doing that in the best way.
Now,
and as I say, the product is first, but then once you have the right product, we have also the right brand.
Exactly.
So we have all the ingredients to do good.
Exactly. And pretty soon you're going to be standing up. You guys will be up there with the Dunlops and the Bridgestones and the Pirellis and those boys.
Working for that. Okay.
Exactly. So you have a great day. Thank you so much for talking to me, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks. Cheers.
Bye, Joe.
Bye.